You just heard Nancy Pelosi. You just heard her say, we'll declare martial law and take your guns. When since the 1976 change, which they always point to, there's been 37 declarations of emergency every year and a half or so on all sorts of stuff, usually about swindling us and selling us out and giving our money to foreign countries. Trump comes in and he finally declares the national emergency when the damn border is collapsing, and she acts like that's taking your guns. Trump isn't signing some order, taking the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or the 10th Amendment or the 9th Amendment or the 7th Amendment or the 4th. No. He's signing a declaration of emergency because he's got control of the Pentagon money and so much more. And Obama gave trillions of dollars to foreign banks under an emergency. Trump's just trying to get $4 or $5 billion because they're trying to break our border. Please listen to me very carefully because this is beyond key. And everyone already knows it. I'm just saying things you already know, but we have to say it aloud. Those of us that are confident tend to be quiet. We can't be quiet anymore. We have to take action. If you won't ever take action in the information war, you'll never take action in the physical war. And we're trying to override and avert and circumnavigate physical war. But God, would the physical war be easier? Aren't we so much more built for that? It's like putting on an old pair of boots you've worn so many times before, even though many of you genetically have never physically done it in this lifetime. But your guts have done it. Your genetics have done it. Your family history. Your earth suit that's made up of all your ancestors. Not the incarnation or reincarnation they talked about. Your soul's new. Your soul's original. Your soul's in this body. But the body is your family. How cool is God? Who could come up with that? So awesome, man. Our bodysuit is all of our ancestors and their memories. That's like heads-up display. Way cooler than the internet, man. I'm sorry, let me just say this now. This is the key. The governor of Virginia says we're going to legalize killing babies after they're born because he's running major medical units that's come out and been confirmed that are harvesting organs. They need to keep them alive because then they can keep them alive a week or so and then get bigger prices in the bidding system that they've got. They've got private bidding systems for those organs. Was at $100,000, you know, if you just gut them right there, you get a lot more than that. And it's the same thing with Pelosi. She comes out and says, look out, you declare an emergency for the border that's in the Constitution. That's just default. The president does. That's his job. It's not like all these other fake emergencies other presidents have had. Most of them have been unconstitutional. This was totally cut and dry bona fide. That's why Trump went with it. It's just cut and dry. He'll have lower courts throw it out. The Supreme Court will affirm it. A 5-year-old could affirm it. But see, she's not really threatening a civil emergency. She's threatening martial law and gun confiscation. Let that sink in. Nancy Pelosi is threatening martial law, not her own declaration of emergency if a Democrat gets in, meaning her. Later, they remove Trump with the whole Russiagate thing. She's third in succession. See, so people are like, oh, she threatens her own emergency. No, she's threatening martial law. See, the governor isn't just saying we're going to kill babies after they're born. He's saying we're going to take their organs. See, that's what we do is we give you the goal, what they're really doing, because they never say what it really is. It's always, oh, we'll have our own emergency on guns. Well, what does that mean? You mean confiscating them, lady, and a whole civil war, because that would start it. And you're just crazy enough to do it. And so that's how we're 2 minutes to midnight right now. This woman is so disconnected from reality. She takes our restraint as weakness, which, let me explain something to you. Our restraint is because we are going to wrap around you like a giant python, and we're going to make sure that when we take your system down, which we're doing all over the world, that we are assured of it. And then these snakes always think if they attack the leading edge of the knife, that we'll back down like we're them. We've already been thrown like a hatchet. It's already, the arrow's been loosed. The trajectory's already confirmed. I've already run you through, Pelosi. Our audience is already, we already exited. I meant to splatter up against the wall behind you and fall down on the ground. I'm a torpedo. I'm a weapon. There isn't just evil in the world, woman. There's good. Learn what it's like. Here she is when we go to break. Here it is. She's threatening martial law.
The Republicans have some unease about it no matter what they say, because if the president can declare an emergency on something that he has created as an emergency, an illusion that he wants to convey, just think of what a president with different values can present to the American people.
All right, let's shift gears. A lot of people are probably asking, wow, Alex, you predicted in October the national emergency when no one else did, and then you said a month ago you thought it was about to be signed, but Trump did the wrong thing and let them kill $2 billion a week out of the economy and act like they're grandstanding instead of just absolutely devastating them right up front and taking control of the border. Well, why should we even play the clip? I mean, you get next year's news today here. Kind of like a time machine. I'm not bragging. That's why they want us off the air. Because these academics and these globalists, they don't really do much work. They kind of agree and go play golf and go take drugs and do whatever and then steal money and then worry about what trips they're going to go on. But none of them are happy, though, statistically, because they're not doing anything real. See, I'm not bragging. I actually can't stop learning how all this works. So they tune into these shows and they're like, this dude knows stuff that CIA director knows, and that's about it. How does he know it? I had the FBI call up and say, how did you predict the day of the event, Las Vegas? Well, that's how can I throw bullseye at 20 feet if I don't think about it twice in a row? Everybody knows that's what that is. You can't control it. You guys got to go with it. And they're getting mad because the older I get, the more I know. I just go with my gut now. It's never steered me wrong. That's what wisdom is going with discernment, going with God. God's already navigating for you. And if you've got a relationship with God, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. I used to sit there in church and hear about, Christians in the Bible saying, God, we don't want to die, but we're ready to come home and be with you forever. And we just can't wait to be with you. And I'm thinking, man, I don't want to die. I got time to go see God. And I don't want to die now. I never commit suicide. But I want to be with God. And the reason about my personal experience is this experience is what the enemy doesn't like. Now, the other side of me is, I want to stay here and take care of my kids. That means take care of you. We're all in this together. You got to take care of me. And we got to stand up against totally sold out, soulless mummies, narcissistic mannequins like Nancy Pelosi, who don't have any connection to God. No connection. She enjoys power. But does she look like she has any power? You know who's got power? Is a single mother who just worked 12 hours, picked her kids up, made them dinner. One of them gets the flu, and she's up all night while that 5-year-old's puking their guts out, and she takes care of them. And then she goes back to work the next day. Instead of just ignoring her kid and slamming the door and driving off down the road. That's what power is, Pelosi. It's dedication. And billions of man hours of people committed to doing the right thing to bring us where we are. And then you people hijack it and you sit up there like demonic parrots chirping. And you have no leadership. You have no power. Doesn't matter how much power you get, or doesn't matter if you're wearing $5,000 dresses. You will always be a soulless sack of garbage. You will always be filth. You will always be what's wrong with the world. And we don't take pleasure in how low she is, but we need to recognize that she's lower than anything on this planet. And she is being replaced by even more soulless people like Cortez. So, sure, I'll get to the emergency. Sure, why not? But notice what she's threatening is martial law. In fact, here's the name of this segment. Nancy Pelosi threatens martial law gun confiscation. I mean, that's what she's doing. That's what happens under real high-level martial law. Is they confiscate the firearms. And so she's saying, hey, watch out. You don't declare an emergency on our border, which is in the Constitution, which is the president's duty, not his right. You will do it, Trump. You will do it. And you did do it. We have to stop laying down. You think I want to puff up and get all ramped up against these killers? I have to, folks. We need to stop kissing their asses. We have to stop being afraid of them and stop being blown away by their $5,000 dresses. Don't California my Texas is the shirt I'm wearing, or Don't California my USA. We also want Don't California my Texas. We're going to have a new one come out that says Don't Venezuela my USA, InfoWarsStore.com. That's how you fund the broadcast and everything else, so please support us. But I keep saying I'm going to go to it. Stuart Rose is in studio next hour. He's a constitutional lawyer. We always forget that, not just a veteran. You know, why is it cool? Because old Stuart used to have a glass eye. And I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, he probably didn't remember this. I said, hey, man, nothing wrong with the fact you lost your eye in the Army. It's kind of cool. Like, everybody instinctively likes a male with one eye. Like, what does it mean? That person's been through something. It's like a sign. It's like scars you get. They become your friends. They're memories of what happened. Victories and defeats and wars. See, we respect somebody that gave something up like Odin to get the true vision, had to give up one of the eyes. You have to give up focusing on the petty and the world in front of you before the big eye opens up. And then when you've got that one eye, it sees all. That's how powerful humans are. It's a symbol of the one eye. And you go, oh my gosh, that's the Illuminati. No, it's not. They steal all the symbols. The all-seeing eye is God's eye. The devil and Google trying to be all-seeing, that's not God. You in communion with God, that's all-seeing. But see, Snake Plissken, as much as I love Kurt Russell, didn't really lose his eye. And that's the whole point. And it's not like Stuart Rhodes wears his eye patch now because it's in fashion. It's like men going bald. So what? Go bald. That's just you're a man. What are you worried about? You lost your eye in the Army. Wear a damn patch. Let them know you did it. Don't cover it up with a nice blue marble. Those scars are sacrifices. Those scars are payment. And even if you did those things and were deceived and were even carrying out evil, God judges the heart like King David, did horrible things, and then later realized it was wrong, didn't do it for the wrong reason, and repented, and it was real. And God said, that's a man after my own heart right there. Those scars are our medals. Those emotional scars, those physical scars, those aren't how we're weak and we revel in being victims. And how we revel in pissing on ourselves and all the bad things that happen. The bad things that happened to me. I'm not a masochist. I don't like pain. But let me tell you, in the journey, I'm way stronger than I ever would have been if I was sitting there playing video games all day on my ass instead of getting the living hell beat out of me by horrible racist gangs of blacks. And I thank them for that now. Because I'm not going to be racist and fallen like they are. And there are a lot of great black people. I appreciate that. My head being slammed into concrete. I made it through it. And I became strong. And later, the people that slammed my head in the concrete got tracheotomies. And I'm sad for that too. But that's the full circle of Earth. It's how God delivers the real balance. All right, I'm going to stop. I'll play the clips and Stuart Rhodes coming in. Stay with us. Newswars.com, Infowars.com. Tomorrow's news today. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has declared a national emergency. And unlike the other national emergencies that were done by globalist presidents to give trillions of dollars to foreign banks and things like Bush did, W did. This is a national emergency in the Constitution where the border's being overrun by giant caravans and diseases pouring over, and the Democrats trying to break the back of our very existence under a UN plan that's admitted. Chain migration, migration replacement, world government, all of it. And now Pelosi comes out in a chilling statement we're going to play here and says that, look out, another president with other values could do it on the Second Amendment, which is the New York Times headline, time to repeal the Second Amendment. But she means by executive operation. Pelosi warns GOP, next president could declare national emergency on guns and confiscate them. That's where we are in 2019, even though the Washington Post has to admit, I couldn't believe they told the truth yesterday on Valentine's Day. Most Americans incorrectly think gun murder rates have gotten worse, not better. Think about that. The peak of crime was 1990. Let me tell you, I was living in Dallas then, and it was just like 6, 7 murders a day, stabbings, robbings, nice neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods. It was crazy. But here's Nancy Pelosi literally introducing the idea of martial law. Here it is.
Have some unease about it no matter what they say, because if the president can declare an emergency on something that he has created as an emergency, an illusion that he wants to convey, just think of what a president with different values can present to the American people. You want to talk about a national emergency? Let's talk about today, the one-year anniversary of another manifestation of the epidemic of gun violence in America. That's a national emergency. Why don't you declare that emergency, Mr. President? I wish you would.
So, you just heard Nancy Pelosi trial balloon, beta test, market test, preview, showcase, display, roll out, premiere, martial law and gun confiscation. You just heard it. Oh, we don't want your guns. Just every city we control, we take your guns. Oh, we don't want martial law. Lady, if Congress won't act and our borders being overrun by 10, 15,000 people a day, they admit the highest numbers ever. I mean, even Border Patrol says that, and Trump goes, highest ever. They go, no, it's not. You're a liar. Fact check. Snopes says, well, if a porn star and a dude and a fat lady and a cat said it, it's not true. We don't listen to the ICE or the Border Patrol and the actual numbers where they're on the line, and if they do something wrong, they get sued or arrested. Very professional. No, it's not. We don't listen to them. We listen to Snopes. Snopes says there's no caravan. Remember Cuomo and CNN? There's no caravan. Acosta, there's no caravan. There's no caravan. As Beto says, we got 2,000 a day coming across. We're getting it done. Do you like my Vermont accent? And again, I love Vermont. It's beautiful. I was in Vermont like 25 years ago in fall. It was so beautiful. I thought I was in the Hobbit Shire. I'm not against Vermonters. But do I go to Vermont and, you know, and talk like this to you? No, I don't do it. It sounds like some type of character from Warner Brothers cartoons. Oh, God, help me. You just heard Nancy Pelosi. You just heard her say, we'll declare martial law and take your guns. When since the 1976 change, which they always point to, there's been 37 declarations of emergency every year and a half or so on all sorts of stuff, usually about swindling us and selling us out and giving our money to foreign countries. Trump comes in and he finally declares the national emergency when the damn border is collapsing, and she acts like that's taking your guns. Trump isn't signing some order, taking the First Amendment or the Second Amendment or the 10th Amendment or the 9th Amendment or the 7th Amendment or the 4th. No. He signed he's signing a declaration of emergency because he's got control of the Pentagon money and so much more. And Obama gave trillions of dollars to foreign banks under an emergency. Trump's just trying to get $4 or $5 billion because they're trying to break our border. And they turn that into you better watch out. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming to town. He'll put you in a FEMA camp. He'll take your guns away. They'll teach your 3-year-old to get blowjobs, and that's just today. It's the satanic new world order. We'll abort your baby after they're born. We'll teach your kids to take ketamine and dance at gay bars when they're 11. Because Satan Claus is coming to town. And Pelosi's up there in her black outfit. Just like, listen, you want to declare emergencies and even tell the public. Because usually when a president declares an emergency, I was watching it once live on C-SPAN when it happened. They march into the House and they say, we have a message here as a herald of the President of the United States declaring an emergency to the Congress. And they list the Congress. And the Congress says, we are ready to receive the emergency. Then they have a vote on whether they're going to oppose the emergency. And it's never on the news. But now, when the country's really under attack and it's all happening, we're not allowed to discuss it. We're not allowed to know about it in the past. But now we're supposed to all be told about it and told how it's martial law and how Pelosi can take your boom booms, your bang bangs. That's how far we've gone. But I do feel good energetically because we're on the march, the empire's on the run. Let's go ahead and play part of Trump, and we'll play more in the next segment. And Stuart Rhodes is going to join us in the studio.
Today I'm announcing several critical actions that my administration is taking to confront a problem that we have right here at home. We fight wars that are 6,000 miles away, wars that we should have never been in many cases, but we don't control our own border. So we're going to confront the national security crisis on our southern border, and we're going to do it one way or the other. We have to do it. Not because it was a campaign promise, which it is. It was one of many, by the way, not my only one. We're rebuilding the military. Our economy is thriving like never before. You look at other economies, they're doing terribly, and we're doing phenomenally. The market is up tremendously today. Not that that's anything, but, you know, because I'll go back in and they'll say, oh, the market just went down. But the market is getting close to the new highs.
Pause on that. When he acts like the president and America's open for business and he acts, it goes straight up. When it looks like the Chi-Coms are back in control, it goes straight down. People want action, Trump. They want it. They want it. And this is beautiful. So if Pelosi thinks she's going to take our guns, we should give Nancy Pelosi a helicopter ride. Oh, no. I don't mean like Pinochet did in Chile. I mean to Venezuela. Take her and Alexandria Cortez and all these other dumbasses who want to go along with the takedown of the country and just fly them all down there with the other dumbass commies. We're going to come back with the rest of this straight ahead. Infowars.com, newswars.com. Tomorrow's news today. I mean, it really is tomorrow's news today. I mean, we're not really covering the emergency a lot because we told you it was coming, right? Sure. We told you first. It's on record. By leaps and by bounds, the #1 best-selling supplement family in the world is energy drinks and energy supplements. But they are riddled with dyes and toxins and synthetic caffeines and other chemicals that sure get you a quick boost but burn out in just a few hours and have terrible side effects. We have developed, hands down from our research, the most powerful, healthy energy drink, pre-workout, and beyond system in the world. There's nothing else like it. You must experience it. It is a total game changer, and it comes in easy-to-use packets to mix in with fruit juice or water, whatever you'd like. Warning though, it's very, very strong. It lasts up to 10 hours. So take a half packet the first time you take it because Turbo Force is named Turbo Force because it will take you into overdrive. Turbo Force at InfoWarsLife.com.